Good evening and welcome to our daily devotional reading. A special welcome to the members of our Make-Believe Monastery. If you do not know that you are a member of the Make-Believe Monastery, even though you're subscribed, then hereby you are informed. It is okay. You can always leave. I changed my mind. For those just dropping in and who have no idea what they dropped into, you dropped into a devotional reading of Plato. I have allocated about 4 pages a day of reading throughout 365 days, which would enable us to read through all the authentic Platonic dialogues and some of the letters. And we are in the process. We still have a very long way to go. But what we like to do here in the Make-Believe Monastery is to play monastery to our heart's content, and hence incorporate a few liturgical elements. And an important liturgical element is to drink of the living water and then turn inward, preparing ourselves, opening our hearts, our mind's eye, our heart's eye, the eye of our soul, our entire being to receiving the truth, as far as we are capable of receiving the truth through the words of Plato. I pray, I beg of you that you will listen beyond my words, listen even beyond Plato, and definitely when I speak my own thoughts. Hear what your voice, your inner voice, that still voice in the silence within, what it has to say. See if you can connect to the source of all being, the source of all non-being, the deeper, real, true you, the one, and listen to the one, for the one, from the one. Let's begin. I'll speak on my wild hair afterwards. I did not know it was this wild. Then at this point, my boys, let us take heed, pay close attention, the other translation says, and be on our guard against deceptions. I will not again repeat that a friend is the friend of the friend, and the like of the like, which has been declared by us to be an impossibility. But in order that this new statement may not delude us, let us attentively examine another point, which I will proceed to explain. Medicine, as we were saying, is a friend, or dear to us for the sake of health. Yes, and health is also dear. The other translation has a friend, and the Greek indeed has philos. Certainly, and if dear, or a friend, then dear for the sake of something. Yes, And surely this object must also be dear, as is implied in our previous admissions. Yes, and that something dear involves something else dear. Yes. But then, proceeding in this way, shall we not arrive at some first principle of friendship or dearness which is not capable of being referred to any other, for the sake of which, as we maintain, all other things are dear? And having there arrived, we shall stop. True. My fear is that all those other things which, as we say, are dear for the sake of another, are illusions and deceptions only. I'll read that again. My fear is that all those other things which, as we say, are dear for the sake of another, are illusions and deceptions only. But where that first principle is, there is the true ideal of friendship. Let me put the matter thus. Suppose the case of the great treasure. This may be a son who is more precious to his father than all of his other treasures. Would not the father who values his son above all things value other things also for the sake of his son? I mean, for instance, if he knew that his son had drunk hemlock and the father thought that wine would save him, he would value wine. He would. And also the vessel which contains the wine. Certainly. But does he therefore value the free measures of wine or the earthen vessel which contains them equally with his son? Is not this rather the true state of the case? All his anxiety has regard not to the means which are provided for the sake of an object, but to the object for the sake of which they are provided. And although we may often say that gold and silver are highly valued by us, that is not the truth. For there is a further object, whatever it may be, which we value most of all, and for the sake of which gold and all our other possessions are acquired by us. Am I not right? Yes, certainly. And may not the same be said of the friend? That which is only dear to us for the sake of something else is improperly said to be dear. But the truly dear is that in which all these so-called dear friendships terminate. That, he said, appears to be true. And the truly dear or ultimate principle of friendship is not for the sake of any other or further dear. And the truly dear or ultimate principle of friendship is not for the sake of any other or further dear. True. Then we have done with the notion that friendship has any further object. We may infer that the good is the friend. I think so. The good is the friend of the true. And the good is loved for the sake of the evil. Let me put the case in this way. Suppose that of the three principles, good, evil, and that which is neither good nor evil, there remained only the good and the neutral, and that evil went far away and in no way affected soul or body, forever at all that class of things, which, as we say, are neither good nor evil in themselves. Would the good be of any use, or other than useless to us? For if there were nothing to hurt us any longer, we should have no need of anything that would do us good. Then would be clearly seen that we did but love and desire the good because of the evil, and as the remedy of the evil, which was the disease. But if there had been no disease, there would have been no need of a remedy. Is not this the nature of the good, to be loved by us who are placed between the two because of the evil? But there is no use in the good for its own sake. I suppose not. Then the final principle of friendship, in which all other friendships terminate, those, I mean, which are relatively dear and for the sake of something else, is of another and a different nature from them. For they are called dear because of another dear or friend. But with a true friend or dear, the case is quite the reverse, for that is proved to be dear because of the hated. And if the hated were away, it would be no longer dear. Very true, he replied. At any rate, not if our present view holds good. But oh, will you tell me, I said, whether if evil were to perish, we should hunger any more, or thirst any more, or have any similar desire? Or may we suppose that hunger will remain while men and animals remain, but not so as to be hurtful, and the same of thirst and of the other desires, that they will remain, but will not be evil because evil has perished? Or rather shall I say that to ask what either will be then or will not be is ridiculous? For who knows? This we do know, that in our present condition, hunger may injure us and may also benefit us. Is that not that true? Yes. And in like manner, thirst or any similar desire may sometimes be a good and sometimes an evil to us, and sometimes neither one nor the other, to be sure. But is there any reason why, because evil perishes, that which is not evil should perish with it? None. Then even if evil perishes, the desire which are neither good nor evil will remain. Certainly they will. And must not a man love that which he desires and affects? He must. then even if evil perishes, there may still remain some element of love or friendship. Yes, but not if evil is the cause of friendship, for in that case nothing will be the friend of any other thing after the destruction of evil, for the effect cannot remain when the cause is destroyed. True. And have we not admitted already that the friend loves something for a reason, and at the same time of making the admission we were of opinion that the neither good nor evil loves the good because of the evil? Very true. But now our view is changed. And we can see that there must be some other cause of friendship. I suppose so. May not the truth be rather, as we were saying just now, that desire is the cause of friendship? For that which desires is dear to that which is desired at the time of desiring. And may not the other theory have been only a long story about nothing? May not the truth be rather, as we were saying just now, that desire, eros I believe, because I checked later, desire and it was eros, is the cause of friendship? For that which desires is dear to that which is desired at the time of desiring it. And may not the other theory have been only a long story about nothing? Likely enough. But surely, I said, he who desires, desires that of which he is in want. Yes. And that of which he is in want is dear to him. True. And he is in want of that which he is deprived. Certainly. Then love and desire and friendship eros, phileo, or philos, and actually the Greek word for desire, I believe I have it here. Oh no, not anymore. It's something else, but it also means burning incense. So I was wrong earlier, probably with the desire thing, because I was just only remembering the eros part here, but that's probably the other word. Anyway, then love and desire and friendship would appear to be of the natural or congenial. The other translation, that what belongs to oneself. I like the more explicit, what belongs to oneself. Such, Lucis and Menexeus, is the inference. They assented. Then if you are friends, you must have natures which are congenial to one another. In some way you naturally belong to each other. Certainly, they both said. There's a song in my head, but it's very high, so I can't sing it. That we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the word, we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for words often better. We belong together. Certainly, they both said. And I say, my boys, that no one who loves or desires another would ever have loved or desired or affected him if he had not been in some way congenial to him, unless he somehow belonged to his beloved, either in his soul or in his character or in his manners, habit, the other translation says, or in his form. Eidos is the Greek. Yes, yes, said Menexenus, but Lucius was silent. Then I said, the conclusion is that what is of congenial nature, what belongs to us by nature, must be loved. It follows, he said. Close your eyes and try to sleep now. Close your eyes and try to dream. Then the lover who is true and no counterfeit must of necessity be loved by his love. Lucius and Menexenus gave a faint assent to this, and Epitales changed into all manner of colours with delight. Here, intending to revise the argument, I said, can we point out any difference between the congenial belonging and the like? For if that is possible, then I think, Lucius and Menexenus, there may be some sense in our argument about friendship. But if the congenial is only the like, how will you get rid of the argument of the uselessness of like to like, in as far as they are like? For to say that what is useless is dear would be absurd. Suppose then that we agree to distinguish between the congenial and the like. In the intoxication of argument, that may perhaps be allowed, in the intoxication of argument. I like that turn of phrase. Intoxicated by argument, with argument. Very true. And shall we further say that the good is congenial and the evil uncongenial to everyone? Or again that the evil is congenial to the evil and the good to the good, and that which is neither good nor evil, that which is neither good nor evil? They agreed to the latter alternative. Then, my boys, we have again fallen into the old discarded error. For the unjust will be the friend of the unjust, and the bad of the bad, as well as the good of the good. That appears to be the result. But again, if we say that the congenial is the same as the good, the other translation has, if we say that the good is the same as belonging, in that case the good and he only will be the friend of the good. True, but that too was a position of ours which, as you will remember, has been already refuted by ourselves. We remember. Then what is to be done, or rather, is there anything to be done? I can only, like the wise man who argues in court, sum up the arguments. If neither the beloved, nor the lover, nor the like, nor the unlike, nor the good, nor the congenial, nor any other of whom we spoke, for there were such a number of them that I cannot remember all, if none of these are friends, I know not what remains to be said. Here I was going to invite the opinion of some older person, when suddenly we were interrupted by the tutors of Lucius and Menexenus, who came upon us like an evil apparition with their brothers and bade them go home, as it was getting late. At first we and the bystanders drove them off, but afterwards, as they would not mind, and only went on shouting in their barbarous dialect, and got angry and kept calling the boys, they appear to us to have been drinking rather too much at the Hemea, which made them difficult to manage. We fairly gave way and broke up the company. I said, however, a few words to the boys at parting. O Menexenus and Lucius, how ridiculous that you two boys, and I, an old boy, who would fain be one of you, should imagine ourselves to be friends. This is what the bystanders will go away and say, and as yet we have not been able to discover what is a friend. Thus far our scripture of the evening, and wrapping up this dialogue on friendship, Lucius. I went to the woods today, and it was raining, and my hair was up, so it got wet, and then when I put it down, it looks like a wild thing. I went to the woods in Wolfhazer, I think. I might be overpronouncing the Hazer now because Wolfhazer. Because I said it at work yesterday and one of my Dutch colleagues laughed at me and made fun of me of how I said it, because I put most emphasis on the Wolf part. It's really difficult managing so many ways of speaking. Anyway, so there is old woods that have oak trees, which are known as Woden's oaks. And in the Crowley deck, the Thofdara deck, which is a deck that is dear to me and Rebecca. There's a book that comes with it, which we both have. And each card is associated with a holy place. And the only holy place mentioned in the book are these Woden's Oaks in Wolfhazer. And so I traveled there with another friend, the one that I intend to go on pilgrimage next year, October. So it's good practice for us to go on semi-short pilgrimages together. We traveled to the woods, and I have it in. I had it in a little like this. I got two, one for oil and one for soil. I picked up some soil from underneath the oaks to take as a gift for Rebecca. It's associated with the hanged man. Woden also was also hanged and upside down, as this one is. And then he dreamt up, can't remember, the runes. And when Rebecca and I both sacrificed an eye in the well, the white well, it was to Woden for wisdom. He's the god of wisdom and magic, amongst other things. So I got some soil to take as a gift for her. Whoopsie daisy. Yes, so that was my friendship-filled day. It was lovely, and that's why my hair looks like I've been to the woods. Pay close attention. as to not be deceived. The ultimate for the sake of which that made me see Alex, though I couldn't clearly hear his words. So I can't remember exactly what he said. Asking, yeah, but for why? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Going deeper and deeper to what is the ultimate for which you do it. And that is supposed to bring you to whatever you find most meaningful in your life. And this is, of course, also symbolically rich. I picked it up during a ritual one time. I never wear it, but I felt like wearing it today. It's actually a man's. And I, of course, have difficulty with this concept of meaning. And maybe I'm starting to have difficulty with the idea that we distinguish between the really real and illusions. That is still very unformed yet in my mind. But the great treasure, I wrote down, what is your great treasure? And even if I do not want to say what is meaning, and even I sometimes struggle with this because I know that people could perceive this as being meaningful to me, and I really want to be a nihilist, and it's easy in my day job, and it's also easy here to remember objectively that it's meaningless, although I experience a sense of pleasure and fulfillment, but that is not objectively, to keep in mind that is not objectively meaningful, hence being an absurdist still, despite doing objectively meaningful work. Because my great treasure I'm obsessed with knowledge. Alex already posted, I see, 444 theories of consciousness. 44 is a special number to me. And I was watching, I haven't completed it yet. Sometimes if I'm watching something, I have to stop and sing or dance or do something different. But it was quite overwhelming how much there is to know. And oh man, what do I need to pay to or do to get that skull, that crystal skull? Like, I'll do anything. Like, really, like. And I'm pretty good at a lot of things. So maybe if you know how to, I can get the crystal skull and know everything. I'm just saying, there's a lot that I'll be willing to do for it, for knowledge. That is my greatest treasure, I think. I love wisdom, but I'm lustful for knowledge. And propositional knowledge also. Like, I mean, I can say what I want about it shouldn't be propositional tyranny, but it does give me a kick. A box full of knowledge is like the best present you could ever give me. I always tell my parents when they go to the shop, when I'm with them and they ask me, what do I need? I say, just a little bit of love. And my mom once sent me a little, like, gift bag that had nothing in it. But she wrote, like, a bag full of love. So that was cute. But I'd rather have knowledge. Thank you. The human condition, because what I was struck by most listening to the 444 theories of consciousness, well, some of them, was my ignorance. This human condition of desiring what we do not have and not having so much, having so many lack, so many things we lack in. And I know I'm very blessed to have that as my main lack and my main desire. And I would love to see the world, a world in which that is the case for everyone, that the only thing they lack is more knowledge. Because that would mean we're satisfied in our thirsts and hunger, in our need for belonging. Because belonging, I also wrote, the naturally belonging, naturally belong. I believe that's what I mean when I say my people. Those people, because of their soul, their character, their manners or habit, or their form, I just feel I belong with, to belonging. I do think that is, he equates it in a way with the good, and I will not be surprised if that is the ultimate good, belonging. So I pray for a world where we all belong. We've all found our people. So that we can lack nothing except knowing more. Useless, I wrote with a question mark. That like being useless to like. I do think we belong most naturally and best to those that are most like us. Indeed, in soul, character, habit, or form. Or and. And I don't think like is necessarily useless to like. I'm seeing my portrait is a bit skew. I need to readjust. I think like amplifies like. My experience, at least, of my people is that they amplify the parts of me that will go undernourished, go thirsty, if it wasn't for them. and then seeing those parts in them and being allowed to express those parts with others, with like character, like soul, like habit, like form, amplifies and deepens what I love most about myself. And obviously also if it's often it happens that it's also unfortunately amplify what you hate most about yourself, but then there's room for improvement if you see it clearly. So I don't think like is useless to like. I don't think today's Tao Te Ching quote is relevant. And I don't think anything I read in any other book is relevant either. No. Relevant maybe, but not appropriate to share. The proper work of man is to love and to know. There we go. Master Eckhart. It is deifying to go through such an experience. I read 2 today. One this morning and one just now. Bernard from Clairvaux. Oh, it's already 42. May the spirit of Sophia be with you.